Hi, I'm Anna,
And I'm Ben.
and we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Season 1, Episode 11 of Attack on Titan. We have a mission. We have a goal, and I don't know if it's gonna happen. If Aaron's gonna be able to complete it. Narratively, I would assume so, right?
It's not a matter of can he, it's will,
Will he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like he has to, do it. He has to complete it. But I don't know if it's going to be as easy as, oh, let me do it. Because I don't think we've seen a full consciousness from him when he's in the form. We've heard his, narration, kind of, when he was in it once. And then we saw him have, a goal in mind and then transform as protection. Mm-hmm. But we haven't seen him in the form going about his
Right. We threw around phrases about how the father brought up using their memories. So we were like, well, maybe he knew what to do in that instance because somehow he has memories from someone else. We also talked about maybe the consciousness level when he's in that state or going into it is more of an instinctual thing, and less cognitive awareness. So I'm not really sure. I feel like obviously story-wise he's going to be able to plug this hole with the boulder.
I'd hope so.
And then honestly that makes me really happy to know maybe people are going to trust him in this form, and Armin's speech will come to fruition where he was use him for strategic value. So I'm hoping that's the case.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what we're gonna get this episode, right? Just the execution of the plan, or an attempt at execution. Aaron has told Commander Dot what I guess the plan is of trying to retake the area that the basement's in, because that will help them find out what the Titans really are. And it's been 5 years that he hasn't seen his dad. Mm-hmm. Where the hell?
Exactly.
So Commander Dot, or however you pronounce his name, is he the commander of the military or the garrison, and Commander Irwin is the commander of the scout? Are they on the same level?
I'm not sure if they're on the same level. I think Commander Dot, if I'm remembering correctly or am remembering in some way the correct vein,
High Commander, absolute authority.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if that was over a certain area, if they work in a north, south, east, west kind of thing, and maybe there's main commanders that kind of look out upon all of the walls in their kind of direction. Mm-hmm. Or if he is all encompassing. I would say that Commander Irwin with the scouts is probably beneath him, if it's the case that he has all power. What did you say he'd had?
Absolute authority.
Absolute authority. If he has absolute authority, he's kind of the perfect person to have promising to kind of protect Aaron and his friends in this new development. Someone with absolute authority is the perfect person to have on your side right now when everyone is so terrified that they'd rather just kill you instead of using you for research or strategic value.
I don't know how it's gonna go, man. There are Titans in this area, right? Mm-hmm. They've overrun it. We saw Aaron when he was in Titan form, beat a bunch of Titans, but inevitably be killed or beaten, right? So it's gonna be not as simple as a fetch quest, go get this and bring it there. There's gonna be enemies on the way, so mm-hmm. That's gonna be its own.
They're
challenge.
Probably going to have to send out people to kind of take down some of the Titans as well, so that Aaron doesn't get overwhelmed.
What if they only send out Mikasa and Armin, because they're oh, well, you guys were gonna die anyway. We're not gonna risk.
It could be we're not gonna put any of our other soldiers in this situation that we're not completely sure of.
Yeah.
We don't know if we can trust Eren in this
So,
form.
since you guys are already going to die.
Volunteer, obviously. I mean, honestly, the other friends might volunteer as well.
They were on the rooftop, right?
Yeah.
But after that, we have our character, like our main three, up on the wall. So I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like they're about to initiate the plan or more he took them somewhere where he could talk to them.
I think that
and give
was
them a viewpoint of everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be just Mikasa and Armin, or maybe the other people would volunteer, which I feel like they totally would. Especially because I'm sure a lot of them would be happy to not would be happy that Eren wasn't killed. I think a lot of those people at that point in time, they witnessed him fight for them or against the Titans. And I think that a lot of them had faith in Eren as a person and so would have faith in him as well now.
Yeah, I agree. Episode 9, we had the scene of Petra, Levi, and Erwin, and Erwin giving the command that they were going to turn back. In last episode, I was surprised that we didn't see them. Are we going to see them this episode, or is this kind of like after the fact?
Maybe they're going to help with the boulder mission? Or maybe they show up while Eren's doing it, and they're like, what the hell?
Is it technically their mission to do? Because isn't the mission of the scouts to like reclaim lost land? And technically it's lost land. Right?
Yeah, so he might be working in junction with them to reclaim that area.
We also learned that this is somewhat taking a toll on Eren. He was bleeding from his nose. That might affect if how he does, maybe, or what he can
turn into.
Maybe, or like what he would be like after the fact that he does. Maybe he's going to be even worse shape, right?
Maybe. If he tries to maybe push his body to do an even bigger Titan than the one that he has done before, then that could potentially have really adverse effects on him.
Yeah.
Because obviously anything he's doing right now is seemingly
we don't know if he
on him
can
to some degree.
Get bigger.
And we don't know if he actually has a choice in well, he did say when he made that last ribcage shield body that body served its purpose, and he almost subconsciously created it to serve that purpose.
Yeah, and then he said next time, he didn't have the boulder mission yet, but he said next time I'm going to turn into the 15-meter Titan that did that before, referring to his his first time doing it.
It is curious though to wonder if he will potentially be able to make that 15-meter even taller.
You know, when you were growing up, in my household we did this, like you had to stand with your back against a wall and they'd put like a cereal box above your head and then make like a little pencil mark and then measure how tall you are. We need that for Eren, like as a Titan. So like every time he goes, like we can see his growth if he ends up getting taller.
Yes. That'd
be nice. Okay. That's all I have. I'm ready to get into it. You?
Me too.
Sweet.
850年トロストク
Okay. New like account, right? How we're talking about it, like in this, is it like telling a story?
It's almost like this is all documented and they're reading the documents.
Yeah. God.
His speech was so good.
エレンたちを救ったのはドットピクシス 南側領土最高責任者だ
Of the Southern Territories.
High Commander
Okay, so
of the
maybe it
Southern
is north,
Territories.
south, east, and west. I kept feeling like someone above would have to, like higher rank, would have to show up in order to save them or stop the cannons.
I mean, it would only make sense to be either Commander Erwin or Levi and or Dot.
Right, I was thinking that it might be Levi and Erwin.
I thought it could have, like, maybe Hans would have tried something if he was in the mix, too.
I would have loved that. That would have been really sweet.
I don't think he has authority.
He doesn't, but I could so see him trying to stop it, though.
What's his reaction to this gonna be?
I'm not sure. He's like currently the uncle figure, I guess, for all three of them.
Yeah.
And I think that he would be very proud for Eren to have value for humanity. And I think he would get over what that meant.
Battle for Trost 7.
Oh, another one.
Another one.
参謀予防作戦を立てようぞ
今の俺たちに見えないものを見ようとしているんだろう
見えないもの
こうする以前に根本的な問題がある巨人だけじゃない
時は一刻を争う
Any troops that they don't tell beforehand, maybe?
若き兵士
There's so many people who know about like his like what he is now or what he's done that maybe there are people who are just like doubting him or
Someone might try to interfere and just slay him before he can do the mission.
あの地獄に
He's the one that tried to kill himself, right?
yeah.
そこのお前聞こえたぞこの無意味な集団自殺には何の価値も成果もありませんその人類を規律を何だと思っている
Isn't that traitorous?
その方が巨人に食い殺されるより100倍マシですどうせだぜ
We haven't seen an actual fight in between humans yet, right?
Not at this level of... They're all kind of comrades.
Other than like the training.
死に方くらい選びたい
おいお前ら
今のは冗談で
派手にやれできるだけ大勢でハゲに便乗してここを去るここを去って娘に会いに行くんだよどうせこの壁も破られるのだから
Dang. I didn't think we'd see so many people falter.
It makes sense, right?
もし人類以外の強大な敵が現れたら人類は一丸となり争いをやめるだろうと
こんな言い伝えがあるんですかそれは
I hear people say something like that all the time.
お主もわしと同じで品性がひん曲がっておる
強大な敵にここまで追い詰められた今でも一つになったとは言い難い状況だと思いますので
一つにならんとな戦うことも難しいじゃろうて
The man.
The myth, the legend.
任務に集中しろだとあいつめ上官に向かって言ってたことだしかしなぜエレンが
I love his sash. His back sash. What a badass.
お
Dude.
主もやるか
頂戴します
Is he legal?
It's red, drinking straight Titan blood. Now his sash is in the front.
That voice.
艦作戦について説明する破壊された扉の穴を塞ぐことである
塞ぐって一体どうやって
Oh my god, do you see his face?
まず彼から紹介しよう訓練兵所属エレン・イエーガーじゃ
エレン
極秘に研究してきた巨人化生態実験の成功者である巨人の身体を生成し
He can create and control.
今司令が何言ってんのか分かんなかったがそれは俺がバカだからじゃねえよな
ちょっと黙っていてくれ
全門付近にある例の大岩を持ち上げ破壊された扉まで運び
I'm scared that we're seeing it now.
And it's
Because
not
now I
gonna
feel like
work.
it's not gonna
Oh,
happen.
why'd you have to say that?
他の巨人から守ることで
Who would
巨人と戦う必要がない
他の訓練兵が口を挟んでしまって
構わん話を
don't have to fight them.
より多数の人間に反応して迫ってくるのでそれを利用して大勢でおびき寄せて壁際
Just
に
lead them all to one corner while he does the mission.
後で大砲を利用して損害を出さずに倒せます数精鋭の班で彼を守るべきだと思います
Oh, he's proving himself so
I know,
well
it's so
right now.
awesome.
技量にかかっています
Do you think the elite force is gonna be Armin, Mikasa, Jean, Annie?
とは時間の問題ね。今現在も巨人が町に入り続けて
They're still entering. I didn't think about that.
Wow.
奪還作戦の
So even if they lure them all to one corner, there's still gonna be some coming in.
人が恐怖を原動力にして進むには限界があるわ。
Yeah, do you think like the mass of the troops are gonna be like, yeah, we believe that?
人類はついに巨人を支配したのか。
そんなわけのわからない理由で命を預けてたまるか。あの刃じゃないぞ。人間兵器だとよ。
まやかしに決まってんだろ。
Are they gonna speak up and like vouch for him? Come on.
A lot of people are gonna leave. Dang.
人類だぞ。人類最後の時を家族と過ごします。覚悟はいいな反撃者ども。今この場で叩き切る。わしが命ずる。今この場から去る者の罪を免除する。
Big!
That's gonna
巨人の恐怖に屈した者は
That's gonna motivate so many
You
people
can
to
never
walk away.
fight them again once you succumb to their fear.
させたい者もここから去るがいい。
Anyone who wishes your loved ones to also feel that fear should leave. Oh,
That's such a great
You're
line,
basically
dude.
saying if you leave, you can't protect those you love.
Yeah.
Look at that
Oh
imagery.
my god.
いやダメだ。
Oh.
私の
I mean, it's so freaking true. Like, you're trained to deal with this. You can help secure a future for your
About our
loved
take.
ones.
わしが言わんでも分かっておると思うがの聞こえはいいが要は政府が抱えきれんかった
They were sending untrained people to their death.
口減らしやった
It was a culling.
狭い壁の中を生き抜くことができたからじゃ人類すべてに罪がある
I love this man so far.
Me too, dude.
がためが破られれば人類の2割の口減らしをするだけじゃ
That's so true. I
That's
didn't even
such a
think about
good
that.
point. They need to
There
retake
was a
this.
culling before. There's gonna have to be another one.
I mean, half the remaining population.
それは巨人に食い尽くされるのが原因ではない言動しと殺し合いで滅ぶ
We killed each
Oh
other.
my god.
我々はここより奥の壁で死んではならん僕はここで死んでくれ
I have chills, dude.
That was amazing.
岩を持ち上げられるかどうかはわからない。
The resolve that has
俺
to
の役割は理
you have
解
to
してい
have
る。
right now.
How am I so
Dang.
hyped up from listening to a man speak?
I know.
Like,
抵抗させなければならない。ならなきゃいけないんだ。みんなの。
symbol of hope for everyone.
I think it's interesting they used some shots from before people walked away, and again there, even though those people had already walked away and were probably further back in the group. I found that interesting,
Yeah.
editing wise.
In that mid-roll, it said that they had to make the equipment as light as possible to maneuver better. I wonder if there were like different levels of gear, like the prototypes and how they evolved.
諸君らの働きいかんによって
These are the elite.
人類の命運が決まると言っても過言ではない
本当に機能するのですか？
よせリコ
あなただって疑念を抱いてるんでしょ。
お主らそんなに巨人に負けるのが好きかわしは負けることが何よりも嫌いじゃだが兄はからんや生まれてこの方負け続けておるわしは巨人に勝ちたいあのデクノボーどもに
They are giant fucking freaks, bro. Do you see how Rico's glasses are connected to her behind her head so they don't fall off?
巨人に勝ちうる唯一の可能性なんじゃからな
He can recognize it so quickly. It could be their first ever advantage, right?
Like they finally like make it a step,
Yeah.
you know, closer to defeating them.
You're the garrison's most elite troops.
人類の命運は託したぞお主が部隊の指揮を取れ
Ian in command.
現場の判断は全て委ねようしかし私の力量では案ずるなお主は酒の味がわかる美酒も悪酒もどちらの味もの任せたぞ
I love that that's his reasoning. Oh, what a guy.
エレン、やはり私も
ついてくるなんて言うなよ。
エレンを一人にはできない。一人になったらまた。
いい加減にしろ。俺はお前の弟でも子供でもねえ。そう言ったはずだ。
赤マン、お前もイエーガーを守る精鋭班に入れ。腕が必要だ。行くぞ。作戦開始だ。
Ian, I like you already.
I wouldn't have fully trusted the mission if Mikasa wasn't there at Aaron's back, you know?
Yeah.
I have way more faith in it going well and him being protected.
I'm nervous for her.
Because how do you know that these 3 aren't going to turn around and, like, kill Eren when it's done?
The way that Commander Dot, like, phrased this, like a human experiment, like, he made it seem like everybody, like, high up knew about it, and it was planned, you know? And not just what it actually is. It's so smart. Spoiled.
You can't really blame them for being spoiled. They had peace basically in their entire lives, and then they just got trained over the past, like, 3 years.
Yeah. I don't know. And anybody who's seen their mom be eaten by a Titan, is hard to say they're spoiled, but I guess. 死ぬことになるだろう。あんたのためにな。である以上、死は覚悟の上だ。だがな、彼らは物言わぬ駒じゃない。
I just hope there are no, like, abnormal ones that can jump.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, it's easier to, like, strategize against the regular ones, but the abnormals can fucking, you know, change on a dime.
Dominic, Fine, Isabel, Ludovic, Hans. 血の通った人間だ。同じ釜の飯を食ってるやつもいる。そんな彼の多く。
The running, so like.
I really like her character design.
あんたには彼らの死を犬死ににさせてはいけない責任があるとのことを甘えた心に刻め。はい。やってやる。
That motivation, that's basically all he needs.
巨人が進んだ分だけ人類は後退を繰り返し
Continuous
領土を
retreat.
奪われ続けてきた。人類は初めて巨人から領土を奪い返すことに成功する。
I love that the first
For the
time we
very
saw
first
him.
time. Does that mean the scouts have never retaken anything? Or, like, a big portion of land?
Maybe.
Claire?
I'm surprised that won't draw attention.
They were gonna fire cannons at them to drown out the noise, right?
Okay.
God, I love the animation of him. Oh my god! And the transitions.
You really believe the athletic ability that it takes when you watch it like this.
Oh my god, yeah.
Please tell me it worked. Please tell me it worked.
Looks like it worked. Those green eyes, bro.
I was wondering if it was like a whole body, though. That's why I was worried.
Come on.
Yes!
Woo! I need to see him next to the boulder, you know what I mean?
He can even just roll it, right?
Oh my god, that's a... Did she get hit? Or... I'm trying to like go frame by frame to see if she was saved.
That she was on that roof? Is he punching that building as something to use to help him push the boulder?
Okay, there's that window right next to, like, right where she's standing, right? It looks like it's exactly where she was standing, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I considered him not being able to transform last minute. I considered that being how this would not work, or him not actually being able to move the boulder. I did not consider that Titan instincts or something would possibly
not at all
take control of him,
because we've not seen anything like that. The literal first time that we saw this happen, he immediately went after Titans, right? He appeared in between a Titan and Mikasa and then went for the Titan.
Maybe there are other factors that need to be involved for the change to work fully and him to have like a conscious level during it. Like a dire situation of about to die. He wasn't about to die here. He was swinging through the sky, but the other two times he was in a Titan's stomach about to die with limbs cut off, and then the other time a cannon was literally pointed at them and went off.
I don't understand how that would change his mentality in the state. Because
I don't know either, but maybe for him to fully be able to take control, there needs to be like I don't know why I'm thinking of like Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm thinking of like this Titan form as being almost like Sukuna.
Yeah.
And he is Itadori, Aaron's Itadori.
So I get you, because before this just happened, and I'm praying to God that it's for some. It was a trick, right? The shot was a trick.
What if they're just like, it's a cliffhanger moment
Yeah.
where they're like messing with us? She wasn't actually on that roof.
But I completely was thinking, okay, he has the ability to become or form a Titan and then use that power. But now it seems like a Naruto, Nine-Tailed Fox, Jujutsu Kaisen, because his will is not in the seemingly. If he is going after Mikasa, something else is in control, and something else is affecting his decisions.
You think about it less as he transforms into this, and you think of it more as he uses the Titan body. It's like he's renting it almost.
Like a passenger.
Yeah, he's a passenger. That's a great way to put it.
The
passenger isn't always in control of the vehicle.
That's a term that they use like in describing sometimes like Naruto, Nine-Tailed Fox kind of like scenario, like things like that. We can't go like too crazy with it because this is the only sign we have of it, right?
Yeah, like it really could just be a cliffhanger. I mean, all the roofs look the same. Like,
yeah,
come on.
Plus,
same architecture everywhere.
It wouldn't make, from all the information we've been given, like from the flashbacks, it wouldn't add up, right? Like their memories, that's multiple people. It doesn't seem like a passenger. It seems like I don't know.
Him not moving the boulder fits with my wonderings on if his actions are all instinctual, like animalistic. Because his actions previously were survival, fight or flight kind of things. Fighting the things that were in front of him that he needed to survive against, and then fight or flight, like choosing to like protect himself and the people around him. They're very like instinctual, like quick, animalistic things, and less like, I am going to move this boulder, I am going to do this, like less like, I guess, thought of.
Is it my mind, or does it look like he bites blood? It looks like a green like energy ball exploding.
It matches the eye color.
It does, but I felt like last time it was just a lightning strike, and now there's like sparkles and like a big explosion.
I was wondering if that's because he's in the air as it happens.
Maybe. And it's green.
Yeah.
That could just be from the flare, right? Eyes were glowy before. He visually looks the same, right?
I don't believe his eyes were that green before.
I'm pretty sure they were. We've seen him scream before.
Yeah. There's really like not a lot of evidence for us to think that it's Wait. The angle. He screamed, and then does he walk over to the boulder?
He's in front of it, turns around.
But he wasn't before. It's like he
Correct.
must have walked.
Yes.
But I don't think we heard the steps of him walking.
No, he's
because
he looks like he's to the right of it.
Yeah.
Or to the left of it.
But when it shows the shot of him in front of it, and then he turns around and punches,
Yes.
which would be that roof behind him in that shot.
You are right.
I'm trying to convince myself that it was a different roof. Like, did he walk that fast to the point where he's looking down at it like that? Maybe. You know, I have a theory. What if that wasn't Mikasa, but maybe someone had already drawn their weapon against him. And he
it's
could
like
sense it. Like an
Yes.
animalistic, you
Okay.
can sense if someone's trying to kill you.
That's what I'm going with.
I was like, how do you trust that these 3 elites aren't going to, especially the one that worked under the commander that wanted to kill him? Like, how do you know they already don't trust him? How do you know they're not just going to eliminate him when he's vulnerable? I mean, he would be more vulnerable as a human, probably, to eliminate, but maybe they'd have more people backing them or on their side if they killed him in Titan form. Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of higher-ups that don't agree with him staying alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at it there. There was like a building kind of in front of her to the left when Mikasa was standing there, and there isn't in that case. I mean, unless he walked around.
I don't know.
Like, location-wise, it's not completely making
But
sense to me with the streets and the
It
buildings.
could just be like 5 seconds skipped and we didn't see him walk, you know?
No. It's a no for me. I'm gonna
It's a no
say
for
that
me,
this
dog.
didn't happen.
I'm gonna go forward and assume that it happened because that's what the story is telling us at the moment.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the case, that is what the editing has led us to believe, right?
So how I mean I doubt she was actually there upon impact. She probably jumped out of the way. She's very fast, or someone pulled one of the more experienced people could have pulled her out of the way.
The reason that I'm hopeful that she didn't get hit is it goes immediately from her face to his hands already in the building. It doesn't show like the process of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't show.
There's no shadow too. You only see the shadow of her head on the roof. Do you see that?
Yep.
You don't see a shadow.
Zooms in to her reaction,
You'd
and
see
it's
the shadow of his arm coming, or at least like or his body looming over her, right?
Yeah.
Shadow wise.
Maybe that it does fit the sense that there could have been something in between the punch and then her facial expression where she would have gotten away, because also I don't know, they're not afraid to show like death. Would they kill Mikasa and not show it? Like
I think they would show it if they killed her. Another thing that could have been this isn't, like you said, there was something that happened in between it. Maybe they cut it in terms of cliffhangeriness.
Yeah.
To make, and then they'll show us actually what
happened.
in
That's what I was
between
thinking.
In the beginning of the next episode.
So, if that's the case, right? That's what the show has led us to believe with editing, that Eren is trying to punch Mikasa at the moment. If that is the case, why isn't Eren in control? If he isn't in control, then something else is in control. Is it what's in control? Is it like, I think it's easy to jump to JJK and Naruto because that's the closest thing that makes sense to us because we've never seen,
I would say it'd just be a Titan. Like an actual Titan with their actual instincts to kill people. And maybe he's just like using the body of a Titan and controlling the body of a Titan.
That's how Commander
but he tastes and smells different.
Yeah. But he also said like he formed a Titan and could control it. Like how he
But was that just his wording in order to
convince people?
To a better way to phrase it in a way that could possibly instill some courage in the crowd?
Definitely could be.
He made it sound like the government had created Eren as a top secret project
to turn humans into Titans. He can create and control a Titan's body. Of course, he doesn't have information that he has the information that Eren told him. Right? So he's kind of assuming here, but so are we. So I'm going to assume with him that Eren can create and control a Titan's body. If he can create a Titan's body and control it, that still wouldn't be a reason why that Titan's body that he created would have a mind of its own.
Okay, so I'm going to unpack this from a language standpoint. because you were very right. So he can create and control a Titan's body.
Yeah.
A Titan. As if he is turning into the actual thing. Meaning his organs would be the same.
No.
His physiology would be... Because they're saying a Titan. A Titan is, let's say they're like a species. Instead of he forms a Titan-like body, a bigger body.
Yeah.
He creates a bigger body, but they're calling it a Titan.
Yes, correct.
So that leads me to believe that it would possibly come with some instinctual Titan tendencies.
I don't think so. Right? Like, okay. It's like, to me, it's a flesh mech. Like it's a mech that he's controlling. And it's just his body from at least this language. Even if there are organs or whatever, you know, because obviously we saw like his rib cage, we saw like his anatomy. That doesn't necessarily mean there's a mind of its own, right?
Yeah, but you're saying that he is creating an actual species and not just creating a similar looking form to the actual species.
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting at the language. I feel like if they were trying to insinuate that he turns into something similar, they would have phrased it differently here. But obviously this is Commander Pixies talking, and he might be changing his wording in order whatever he thinks will convey the best message. But I feel like if they were trying to say that Eren has full control over this because it is him, they wouldn't have phrased it that way.
I don't know, because if they said Eren turns into a Titan, that would mean Eren's anatomy himself changes into a Titan. But just because they said he can create and control a Titan's body does not necessarily mean that Titan has consciousness.
But if you can create something, like if you're creating Shikigami or something, it has its own kind of will.
Yeah.
If he's creating a Titan,
you are right,
and he's riding in it like a passenger, the Titan could still be a Titan.
You're right. I'm trying to, like, I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily mean he has a mind, right? Because you're right, it could be a Mario Kart Double Dash kind of situation, and like it switches if he's in control or not every time, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, if he's driving the car, or if, you know, cart. I don't know why he is not seemingly in control this time, but he was the first time.
Well, that's if anything, I brought up circumstance.
He was. You're right, because that seemingly is the only difference. The circumstance this time, he's still willing it, right? He literally, like, going into it, he is saying and thinking, "I am going to do this."
Yeah, but he's not actually in danger instinctually, like in danger. He would be able to leave if he wanted to. It's not like there's someone with a literal sword to his neck or a Titan he's in their mouth.
What episode did we see him like grow it, I guess, or become, or take control over it the first time?
It was like 2-3 episodes ago that we saw him actually form it out of the Titan that he was in their stomach.
Correct. Was it, I think, 7 or 8?
Somewhere.
I'm wondering, I'm asking that because I
don't think it was this one. I think it was the next one.
Yeah. Is it the other times it's been like for somebody else? Like before he did it, was he thinking about Eren and Mikasa in this one? I think it was the next one, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. That's a good point to bring up. Who is he thinking about saving each time? In the stomach, he was probably thinking about getting out of there and killing all Titans. The second time, he was thinking... Do we know for sure he was thinking about just saving Armin and Mikasa and it didn't matter what happened to him? Because, I mean, he was able to save all 3 of them. It could have been... He knew he could do all 3. So maybe it's like maybe it's more selfish, or maybe it's more riding on him and what his current situation is and not really his will to protect or save other people, or it could be that. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to like come up with reasons, I guess, or differences between the 3 times.
Yeah, me too. That's why I was trying to figure out like what exactly he was thinking about when it happened, but now I have no clue when it happened, because in episode 8 at the end is when we get the reveal that it's him, right?
Yeah.
But episode 9 is when they're already being questioned. Was it a flashback from the questioning?
There were a few. There's flashbacks.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago, right?
It doesn't.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It definitely was.
There we go.
Okay.
What was he saying? What was he saying?
He's very frustrated,
Damn it
of
all.
course.
Damn
He's
it.
very hurt.
Damn it. I won't give up. I'll eliminate them all. Every single Titan. It's like his will is more like he's not even thinking about himself here necessarily, like saving himself. He's thinking about this goal of killing all Titans.
So I think that narrows it down, right? Both times that we've seen it happen, it's out of desperation. Mm-hmm. And like
and that he wasn't desperate
and had
here.
no other choice. And of course he's desperate in the sense this time of, oh, I want to do this and I want to save everybody.
And the
so we can
stakes
do,
are high.
And the stakes are high. But it's not like this second isn't life or death.
I know. So that's what the difference is right this second. That's the only difference I can find, is that the immediacy of need to survive is different.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? That's the only
At
difference.
the moment, that is it. That's what it is. That's because I can't think of anything else.
What happens now, man? Is it like, okay, now we have to kill Aaron's Titan, or now we have to say, F it, we don't do the mission, retreat?
I'm thinking it might be one of those cases where if someone, even if they aren't in the forefront or not in complete control, they can hear what's going on outside of them. And say if Mikasa starts yelling, Aaron, Aaron, like trying to get him to take control, then maybe he'd be able to fight it. And we'd see like a vision of like, we've seen it with Naruto, we've seen it with Itadori and Jujutsu Kaisen.
We're
where
going
they kind
with
of
the passenger narrative then.
With the passenger narrative, which is, there's other things it could be. It could be just that there isn't actually any other soul or will in this body or consciousness, and it's more just instinct of the body. Like he became a werewolf. Like think about when people become werewolves. They go into animal instinct and they have to fight against their animal instinct. It's not like it's a different soul inside of them. So maybe this is more like a werewolf.
That
narrative.
makes more sense to me than the passenger thing. The only reason I connect the passenger thing is because of Naruto and JJK, but everything that we've learned leads more to the werewolf situation. That being said, I don't think I've ever watched anything that involves somebody turning into a werewolf. So I don't know about that. But that like
so yeah, it could be either one of those now. The passenger and or more like animal, he turns and transforms into something that has separate instincts than what he's used to, and he has to be able to control those instincts and those cravings or thoughts or whatever pop up.
But you can go back and forth about it, because just like we said that, then it's like, oh, if you look at how he punched the building right here, it's a human punch, right? It's an intelligent punch that we haven't seen from any other Titan other than the Armored and Colossal, right?
I don't know if you could go for it's a human punch, because all of the Titans have humanoid bodies.
Okay,
so
the style, the thought behind it.
Any act of hurting someone, they swipe at people, so it's not like they don't use their hands as
yes, but that's different.
To hurt.
Like, there's an obvious difference in swiping at somebody and then Titan Aaron having a fighting stance.
Okay,
right?
We've never seen a Titan punch.
Yeah, that's right. Other than Armored and Colossal.
Anything similar to, I guess you're right, more of a fighting style or more like ability to think of your body as a tool.
So then that would lead me to believe Eren is in control right now, and maybe it is an editing trick, and maybe somebody was trying to hit his back, like you'd said.
Like, really, it just makes so much sense to me that he could tell if someone was trying to kill him. If he could hear that sword, like, or that knife come out, whatever it is, it's basically like a giant knife. If he could hear it come out, would he then think that and he had his back to them, they had full view of his neck. And if you think about it, they're all probably posted up on different roofs around him, right? Each of the elite.
That makes the most sense to me if I'm looking forward in the show.
Yeah.
Based off of, I think the animalistic control or passenger control is what we can derive from the way the editing was done, that he's going after Mikasa. But I could see it not being he was going after Mikasa and he was going after
Eren. Like, what if he is Eren and he hears or thinks that someone is trying to kill him?
Yes.
He would punch them.
Exactly. And because it seems like it's not just like a SWAT kind of thing, but
like he's kind of like, I don't know. I guess like it would be, okay, well, get in the mind of a person who would be about to kill him. Kill him before the mission can even start, and you save all of those lives.
Yeah.
And they were all, as they were running, they were talking about how, I don't think it would be, was it Rico or Riku? It was like a
Rico
something.
and Ian. I don't know.
I don't think it would be Rico. I felt by what Rico was saying to Eren that they were like basically saying, just kind of giving Eren the like lowdown, like, you know, this is the stakes of the current situation. I hope you're able to do it, kind of type of speech. So I don't think it would be that character that would be like the betrayal character.
On one hand, I could imagine it being Ian because he's the one in command, but that would mean that I'm not trusting Commander Pixie's judgment.
Or his taste in things both bitter and sweet.
Exactly. So then it would have to be the third one, right?
The bearded guy.
Yeah.
What was the bearded guy's one comment? You're spoiled. That's basically what he said. And, like, can you really trust them to flawlessly follow this commander's, like, rules if their ideology or their thoughts might line up more with the one they were under beforehand? And what were they saying? You can't control how humans act in the face of terror. That's the conversation they were talking about as they were running across the roof, is people have families and children and all of this to protect. You don't actually, like, know how they're going to act once they're faced with terror.
Bruh, I swear this is an editing trick. Ready?
It really is.
Like, ready for this?
Okay.
All right. So the face that she's making right now and her reaction, I guarantee you, if there's an editing trick, it's going to be after the next scene. So she's saying, I believe Eren has the strength to lead us forward. Mm-hmm. Makes the weird face. I think the weird face expression is to the fact of him turning around. So I think it would show him turning around, and then she makes the weird face like, what's going on? Right? Like, I don't know, man. It seems... Why wouldn't they show us? Like,
It's also interesting because this boulder is it almost looks like there's buildings, a roof kind of facing each side of the boulder, like north, south, east, west. She could have been, and he could have just turned his body a different way to punch. She could have been, like, behind him on this roof, or... you know, to the side of him on the other roof, and then someone, I don't know.
Storytelling-wise, I don't think they'd kill Mikasa in this instance right now.
But also, storytelling-wise, it would be pretty compelling for him to fight his inner, like, you know, his inner instincts, will of someone else, or will of a Titan, to gain control, to rein himself back and complete the mission. That would be really compelling story-wise.
I agree with you. I'm just saying I don't think Mikasa's dead here because I don't believe that.
I don't believe it.
I could see them going with like the like they showed us the shot 2 episodes ago I think last episode of like him inside of the Titan's neck and how his eyes were moving. Mm-hmm. So that's a visual that they could potentially go back to if he is fighting Control. Right?
What if it's like we talked about the toll it could take on his body. What if this transformation he's knocked unconscious? And so he's not controlling the body.
That could totally be it.
Because before we saw his eyes flickering and they were moving and he was thinking.
Even if it's like, I think the step there is that this might happen. He might lose control when he overdoes it.
When he overdoes it.
Yeah, when he does it too often.
I mean, that would make a lot of sense. Because he hasn't mastered it. He still needs to get to the basement and kind of like learn even what's happening or why or how. And their memories will help you.
This is immediately after, right? Like this has all happened in a day, presumably. Or very soon after each other. Because Eren definitely doesn't look as tired as he did. But I'm sure that some of that was due to the stress that was the situation, you know?
Mm-hmm. They do draw very warm tones on the sky often.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell if they're trying to say that the sun is setting or it's getting later in the evening. It kind of seems like it is later in the evening here.
Dude, like... So for a lot of anime, like sure this is the first season but
it's only the first season.
Well, no, like so for a lot of anime, Dragon Ball Super early days come to mind. But for a lot of anime, if you're seeing like really great animation and it's really quick and you stop on each frame, obviously you lose detail because of 1, budget, but 2, there's like the fluidity of motion.
Yeah.
That fluidity of motion that you need to have this like more abstract version of the figure to show how quick they're going. Mm-hmm. In this show, even if you go frame by frame, it looks so good on those small movement moments. They look so good. I'm like, it's so impressive, dude. Like in the you can see for a split second frame.
Isn't that cool that you can even see how a body would land on the roof? You know,
look at the lighting, man. Like, mm-hmm. What the...
To even be thinking about the lighting when you're drawing people moving really fast is crazy to me. I mean, the amount of detail that goes into, okay, where's the light source in every single frame? Wild.
This is the second episode in a row Eren's been like, Mikasa, I'm not your little brother, or something else.
Does that mean that if he needs to regain control or wake up, she's going to need to give him a speech about, like, in retort to him saying those comments? She hasn't responded either time, really, with any sort of, like, but I feel like you are, or I am your family, or something. Like, she hasn't responded yet, and maybe she needs to.
You know what the biggest mystery of this fucking show is? Not the basement.
Not the basement? What's the biggest mystery?
I swear there was, where these things came from. I swear there was a scene very early on that Commander Pixies or Pisces or Dot or his sash wasn't on the front of his body and it was just on his back. And then the next time I saw it,
it was all over? It was
all over, like a regular sash.
When he was walking on the roof with Eren and gave Eren the drink, I believe there was a shot. There was a shot. I think it might have been right after this.
I swear there was a shot.
I definitely saw a shot where the sash was not drawn on the front of his body.
Yes.
I even, like, editing-wise, I brought up how they reused the same it was like 2 frames of people in the crowd, or 3, and all people who had dialogue. And
there's no sash here.
There is no sash there.
This game is literally unplayable. Sash there. But no, there was a shot that wasn't on his front. There
we go. It's on his back, but it's not on his front.
Maybe his sash is like, he's like, that's where he hides his drinks or something. And then he like put it in his pocket before he took out. I'm sure it's the animation, right?
Yeah.
Just consistencies. You can never get everything, but I thought it was interesting. Man, I'm so glad that we had a little Armin moment in this episode. Like he had
like
the
working
idea.
with the top strategists.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
it was his idea to go about this so less people would die.
It paints a picture of what his future could be.
Yeah.
The more he is in the military and the more useful he'll be. The more useful he'll be when he thought he was useless.
Yeah.
I love it. But also wasn't it like I was surprised by him vocalizing the commander about the culling. I was surprised that someone so high up would point out that was freaking horrible.
That was pretty compelling, I imagine, right?
Yes, and he used it in a way to be like, if we don't regain this territory, another one is going to happen because we cannot feed and house that much of the population. And I was like, dang, a reason to turn around. You have to regain that territory. You have to, or humans will have to kill humans.
That was his whole speech there was so amazing.
It was so nice to have such a great speech from Armin, and then this speech was like really good too. Characters in this show have really good like monologue, motivational speeches. Like Mikasa's, even though she was emotionally compromised on the roof after Eren was what we thought dead, she had a really good speech that drove everyone into action to take back HQ. Eren has had moments where he spoke up passionately in a little mini speech that ended up getting a lot of characters to decide to also probably join the Scouts. So characters in the show, they are very influential in terms of dialogue and the words they use. And as like I studied English in college pretty heavily, and so a show where it's so heavy on the words that are being said and how they can carry emotion, and you saying a word that could change a whole person's life and their whole thought process. I just think that this show, dialogue-wise, is amazing.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay. A big part of like speeches and like intense moments in anime, at least for me, is of course what they're saying, but like soundtrack, like backing music.
Yeah.
I think this show has something in the first 11 episodes, like just going off of them, that most shows don't. This show has that music, but I think their dialogue in those moments are so precise and well written and make you feel the exact intention that the author or writer intended, to the degree, like to such a crazy degree. Like it hits home so much more. Like you really feel the impact of what he's saying. I feel like I'm in the audience, you know what I mean? I'm feeling like I'm in that crowd.
The music point's so good because I feel like I've watched a lot of shows where my emotion, I might not have been emotional by the words that were being said, but the soundtrack is what brings out those emotions in me. But I feel like this show partners both of them so that you're almost like, you get chills. You're swept up in it.
Sometimes you forget about the music at all.
Yeah, but it's almost like a subconscious level of emotion that you forget about the music. You're not like consciously thinking about it being the case that it is emotionally, and you're listening to the words that are said, but the music is almost just kind of like pushing at you too.
Yeah.
Like, silently. Not silently, but you get what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like it's like the invisible, like emotional, like ebb and flow of like a tide.
For sure. And I like, as like reacting to a show, I don't just want to like watch the show because like personally, like when I watch reaction channels, I like analysis and thorough observation, you know? So I try to like be like, okay, like I want to be able to notice the music and stuff too, because it's one of the most important things to me in anime. I love music and soundtracks, but like I am so in the moment in these episodes that like I just completely forget we're reacting to something, and like it's like I'm like alone on my computer with my headphones in, like, oh my god, this is such a crazy moment. Like and I forget to like point out stuff sometimes. Real quick, in one of the title cards or mid-roll cards, you see the information we can share so far, and it goes over the equipment, like operation device, sheath and gas cylinder, and then that says core or coke, one of the two. I'm gonna assume coke, but I would love to see where this stuff, like the steps that this stuff was made in, like what the first idea for it was, the prototype,
the
like,
originals. It's obviously probably gotten lighter.
So I was originally like connecting like, oh, Armin's smart. That means he could create stuff, but that's a different kind of intelligence, right?
I prefer
intelligence,
this one.
right? We see strategy in the sense
instead of inventor.
Sure, not saying that he couldn't. I'm just saying like just at the moment, and I would love to see the person who made this stuff and how like how the versions advanced, because this equipment is so freaking cool and it's so specific, and it's like you have to be so specific with how you shift your weight and everything. It's so like so cool.
I love the role of strategist, and I don't know if that's because I'm obsessed with playing Fire Emblem games, and that's basically what you do in those games. You are a strategist with an army of people. So Armin is, I think he might be my favorite character at this moment. Who knows if it'll change. I mean, there's other seasons of the show and there's other episodes, but at the moment he's my favorite, and I love the idea of a strategist. I love it that they can like think up these elaborate plans, but also be thinking about minimizing the casualties with not losing out on actual like possibility of winning.
Yeah.
So I just love that.
I think Aaron's up there with one of my favorite characters, and I think it might not be as strong if we didn't have the Mikasa flashback. That was such a huge moment in development for me in my relationship and feelings towards Aaron. You have no idea, dude.
I have some idea, but I'm not in your head, so I guess I can't have the full idea.
I definitely agree with you, though. Like, the whole strategist kind of thing. Like, I love the idea of having team leader. I love Shikamaru, Naruto, for the 16th reference of this video. But, I love that idea so much, dude. Like, playing video games or something with a group of friends. You have, like, a TL, like, team leader, and sometimes and like it's their idea of what you're gonna do that round or that game, you know, like that whole like idea that each of them are bringing a certain role like to this. Honestly, like it's not just Armin being the strategist and then you have two people with ODM gear. You have one of each. One person who's crazy proficient with it, one person who is can take control of a Titan sometimes.
A special something.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yes.
I love this show, man. This is probably, believe it or not, this might be one of the episodes that's hardest for me to not be like, no discussion, click next episode, go. Like it's cliffhanger, man. To be continued. Fuck my life.
Continued.
All right, that's all I have, you.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.